Our here.
We all be ready.
Have to give you a ride back.
What's it?
I can give you a ride back.
Okay, sorry. That pledge allegiance. To the flag. This public meeting and the Hudson meeting before the meeting is called to order. After the close of the meeting, we have to depart press and we start ledger in accordance with the Open Public Meetings Act and notice to report board members and reports as required. Roll call, Mr. Sherlock.
Mr. Rowe? Hudson? Here. Mr. Bellman?
Here.
Mr. Thomas?
Here.
Mrs. Thomas? Here. Ms. Wells? Here. Mr. Rieger?
Here.
Mr. Ryan?
Here. Now the time for any public comment on items on this agenda. We are on the annual meeting.
I have an annual meeting that starts at 7 o'clock, and then a regular meeting that starts at 7.
They both will both start at 7 o'clock. We go from one to the next. All right. Superintendent's consent agenda. The annual meeting is the one. We have to separate it out and do roll call. Are there any items on this consent agenda that any board member would like to move? So then I need a motion.
So moved.
May I have a second, as well? And may I have a second?
Close it.
Thank you. I do have one question, the issue with the car letter, not being print, and okay? Yes, okay, thank you. It should be changed and
It's actually with the Star Ledger and then newsentry.com for their public statements, but we do it.
I just don't want to confuse anybody in public who might think Star letter is print.
But it is up on their online.
It's on online, it's all online.
Okay, so that's fine.
Yep. Being that there is nothing pulled. Ms. Thomas,
I wanted to vote no on something on this agenda.
then would actually do a poll, something to request for a people.
Yes.
You have to come in front.
It's, that's,
You can ask that.
yeah, it doesn't matter if I'm voted or should I vote?
Okay, so what is the citizens?
No, is that what
So here's, after reviewing this Blackburn, what we can do is we open discussion on the consent agenda. All right. What we can do then is, Ms. Blackburn, please correct me if I'm incorrect. We may discuss that item and vote yes or no on it, if we so choose, and then vote again on the rest.
you have a motion?
Right.
You have a second.
Right.
Next step is discussion.
But of the entire agenda, if you'd like to discuss that item.
Yes.
You may.
Okay. So, no.
Which item?
Item CC, appointment of school board attorney. And I was just voting no.
Can you hear me, Mike?
Okay, item number CC, appointment of the school board attorney, and I was just voting no. And I'm keeping voting, unless somebody else votes.
Ms. Blackburn, we have to vote on that. Okay, so it's number one and ten. Go ahead.
then we should vote, except no. And if there are any other items that is no votes. Okay.
That would be a roll call.
Mr. Rouse? Ms. Joseph? Here. Ms. Conley?
I'm sorry, are we yes or no? Sorry, I hope you're quite confused. I was going no on item C, and yes on the rest of the agenda.
Mrs. Thomas?
Yes, except for item C.
Mr. Thomas. Yes.
Ms. Conley?
Okay, vote yes on the agenda except for item C.
Ms. Wells?
Yes.
Mr. Winkler?
Yes.
Mr. Flansbrough?
Yes. We need a move to go out of the standing meeting and go into regular meeting.
So moved.
Ms. Wells?
Second.
Ms. Thomas? Mrs. Thomas. Now we move to our regular report for the meeting. Call order, roll call. Mrs. Sherman.
Mr. Rouse? Ms. Knox? Ms. Joseph? Here. Ms. Conley?
Here.
Mr. Thomas?
Here.
Ms. Thomas? Ms. Wells?
Yes.
Mr. Winkler?
Here.
Mr. Flansbrough?
Present.
Dr. Beans? Here. Ms. Black? Ms. Blackburn? Ms. Bergen?
Here.
The old business and the board member would like to discuss. Superintendent Bean, the old business to discuss. Okay, presentation, recognition, and awards. Presentation, recognitions, and awards. Dr. Jackson.
Good evening, everyone. Let's do two things here, hold and read at the same time. It's going to be tough. All right, well, I'm going to teach it at school. All right, I am here today to honor, actually this is our last one for the school year. We head into the summer. Very excited to announce our two recipients tonight. We'll start with our student of the month, and this is second grader, Mr. Cy Rosaire. Simon was selected for his honor in recognition of the tremendous growth that he has shown. He has embraced new challenges with a positive attitude and determination. And not only has he met those challenges, he has surpassed them. For those of you who have worked with science teachers that are here, I know you can attest to that. His teachers are incredibly proud of the student he has become and the hard work he continues to put into everything he does. Way to go, Simon. Nice work. And our staff member of the month, Mr. Robert Troy. Mr. Troy is our lead custodian at Highlands Elementary School. He was selected for his consistent patience, kindness, and dedication to our school community. One nomination for him summed it up perfectly. Rob takes such pride in making sure HES always looks neat and orderly. When I walk in every day, you can just feel how much care he takes in making sure our school looks great. And I have to add to that, I can personally attest to Rob's work ethic and his willingness to help at all times. Truly, truly a deserving honor. Thank you, Mr. Troy. Good evening. Student of the month, Sharon Gorman.
Okay. Kind, hardworking, and conscientious. Those are the 3 words that your teachers describe you as. They say you're always a good friend to your peers. You're a role model of how to behave in class, how to be organized, to go to your schoolwork. And we don't have that much time left in this school year. And I'm very excited to see you bring those traits with you over to Henry Hudson and continue to be a leader for your class. Great job. Our staff member, Miss Kim Voorhees. The students graduate, our 6th graders are graduating tomorrow. And usually when you have the birds leaving the nest, there's worries about how they're going to do in the new environment, in the new larger setting. But when they've had Ms. Voorhees for their final year at AHES, I'm confident that they will be organized, they will know how to carry themselves, they will have the self-confidence that they need to achieve at Henry Hudson, and I'm very proud of all that Ms. Voorhees does with our students, and look forward to hearing the great things that our students achieve next year as they come up the hill. Thank you so much.
Good evening, everyone. Sheridan, congratulations. I look forward to working with you very soon. I love when people refer to us as the big school, because we're just this little old gem on top of the hill. But I do look forward to having all the 6th graders come up. I also am extraordinarily proud of our seniors. We had senior awards last night, and they came home with thousands of dollars in scholarships, and a lot of it came from the community, so thank you. Our student of the month, who has been here every month to assist us as the Student Board of Education representative, has presented all year student club, athletic, and school information at all the Board of Education meetings on behalf of all 3 schools in our regionalized school district. So Juliana and Dan, if you would please join us as our student of the month. This is not an easy process when you're student representative to the board. It's real responsibility that we give these students. And to help them, this is the same thing up here. They reach out to all the schools, they put that information together, they develop it, they rehearse it, they go over it. Juliana adds to it herself. And I can tell you that very few students that I've had that I call an advisor to me, but she has served that role over the last 3 years, and it's really been a pleasure, and I can't wait to say your name one time on Tuesday. So congratulations and thanks. Ethan Hartsgrove. This nomination starts with tennis god in exclamation points. Ethan Hartsgrove is our athlete of the month. He has been working very hard this year on the boys tennis team. He's the leader for the team. He's also on a travel team and takes lessons outside of school. His goal is to play in Europe. And I believe one of the stories I was told is that one of his friends convinced him to go out for the team, and then he knocked him off his first singles, which was a great story and a lot of fun. Congratulations and well done. Rose McLaughlin. Rose is our artist of the month. This student worked on both the drama club shows this year, and it was a joy to work with them on both productions. This student consistently works hard and dedicates a lot of time outside of school to their work on the shows. In the springtime, this student was a shining star on stage as one of the main characters in SpongeBob. Each year, the student continues to grow as a performer and as a person, and the HHR's Drama Club is lucky to be working with them again next year. Congratulations. Our staff member couldn't be here, but is Missy Holt, and she's one of our beloved phys ed teachers. Missy Holt consistently goes above and beyond, not only in the classroom, but also in the broader school community. The PE staff has organized some fun events throughout the year. Recently, she helped organize a field day for current future animals. And because of the rain, we inside. And I can tell you, when you plan a field day for sixth graders and seventh graders to do together, there's a lot that you have to plan for, and moving that inside is an enormous chore, and they did it, and they did it cheerfully. No matter the task, she ensures every detail is handled with professionalism and care, and has become someone you can trust in the jam to give them something and you know it's going to be taken care of. So thank you, Ms. Holt. Thank you.
Normally I come up here to talk about scholar athletes or scholar artists or our scholar thespians, but tonight I'm going to talk about a scholar athlete of a different type. Video games have changed a lot since I was playing my buddy's Nintendo and playing Contra. I was up, down, down, left, right, select, BA, select, start. You guys that don't know. And, oh yeah, 30 lives. Those guys. So, video games have changed a lot. Now you can be like mobile gamer ninja, streaming live on Twitch, making serious cash money. You can be a creative like Mr. Beast and develop your YouTube channel into doing all sorts of money. And while they may not be the rule, things have changed. Technology has changed, and the kids' ability to do those things, to go out and get something done, has changed. A few years ago, we started an esports club here at Henry Hudson, and it was just a club. Mr. Paul Percivale is our esports coach. And he put the time in to develop it into something that became an official stipend activity here on the Hill. And he's been there since his inception, and tonight's pretty unique. We have Donovan Perez, come on up. Donovan has been, you could say, one of the godfathers of the esports program, and he's been there from the beginning. He's an OG. He is their anchor. He's their best player. He's their guy. And he's been there from the beginning. So it's fitting that here as he's about to walk and graduate and go on to great things on Tuesday, that we are going to present Donovan with the first ever varsity letter in esports. Thank you.
Thank you all, and congratulations to all the recipients this week. Next item on the agenda is reports, starting with reports. Presentation, Mrs. Delvatoni and Ms. Soma, please.
I'm just going to offer a little bit of an assist tonight. I'm not going to embarrass you guys, but they're a little nervous. So they're going to help us out, and they're going to talk all about their project, but I'm going to keep all the info for you. So they brought the project with them tonight. These are our HES STEAM 10 students. It's called the iComputer. It's on the back table. You can check it out and go out hopefully. The iComputer is a new kind of computer made to help those who are visually impaired. It has a special screen that feels like the toy called Pinheart, where little metal pins move up and down. This screen lets those who are visually impaired feel pictures, shapes, and words. It also comes with a braille keyboard that helps people type using touch. So really just a brilliant idea. This comes from the students. I'm not going to steal their thunder. They're going to talk to you a little bit now on what STEAM Tank is, and then they're going to pave the way for our Atlantic Highlands students to come up and talk about their projects as well. So without further ado, these are our 3 STEAM Tank finalists, state finalists from Highlands: Miles, Ridley, and Libby.
STEAM Tank initiate passions and empower young innovators. STEAM Tank is about sustainability, creativity, and solving real-world problems through innovation. New Jersey School Board Association. It lends K-12 students to design and improve local inventions that help the world. Pitch video. Students were asked to create or design a sustainable product that solves build, monitor, and conduct research with its systems, create and video pushing data. 540 teams from 98 schools and 69 school districts across New Jersey submitted their invention materials in this county.
Round 2, regionals pitch your passions. At this point, students present their pitch and demonstration of their prototype in front of the senior judges. 400 teams from New Jersey moved on to different teams. 10 of them from Highland Elementary, 10 of them from the Redwood Highland Elementary, and 1 of them from Hamilton High School.
Round 3, statements. Students get another chance to present their pitch and refine prototypes to the steam tank judges. 20 teams in NJ, New Jersey, advanced to the finals. 1 of them from Hudson Elementary, 2 of them from Illinois.
Why it matters. Steam Tank emphasizes the importance of critical thinking and teamwork, encourages real-world problem solving and sustainability, sparks creativity and innovation in young minds, and helps students with confidence and builds their presentation skills. Steam Tank builds more than inventions. It builds passions and skills that last a lifetime. Be part of a challenge that empowers students to invent boldly, solve problems creatively, and lead with purpose. Innovation starts here.
State finals honorable mentions categories: creativity and arts, entrepreneurship, social emotional learning, human built environment, outstanding innovative tech, outstanding achievement in justice, equality, diversity, and inclusion, outstanding achievement in elementary sustainability, outstanding achievement in subject matter experts. Badges. Entrepreneurship, Jedi, human built environment, social emotional learning skill, arts. The state peace center badges, Jedi, innovate tech and design, collaboration, civic and government, arts, entrepreneurship, general science. I would like to recognize their students equally fighters.
Hello. So we also have Steam Tank. Congratulations to the participants at Highlands Elementary. We also were doing the same program at Atlantic Highlands. I'd like to shout out to Mr. Tony, who was here in the back. And she guides and provides a lot of support, but the creativity and the ideas are coming straight from the minds of our students. So here's our first group. We have 2 groups presenting tonight. Sure.
We observe many people unsafely biking the street, but we have found a solution to that problem. Lila, Clara, Mila, Sedona, and I have created a sensor that helps you and your family stay safe. We spoke with Detective Morgan from the Atlantic Highlands Police Department. He inspired our slogan, simple, safe, and secure, commonly referred to as the 3 S's. He also provided us with additional ideas, such as utilizing the bike tracker to help locate your bike if it gets lost. Our sensor is designed to be environmentally friendly. It is both safe for the environment and most parts are interchangeable and usable. This reflects our commitment to making products that are both safe for users and for the environment.
We came up with this idea because we've heard of so many bikers getting injured by cars in the street. It sounded dangerous, and after searching up that over 130,000 bikers get injured by cars per year, we decided this would be the best choice. Me and Faye have a story to tell. One time we were walking out of the library and we saw a biker at inches away. He wasn't wearing a helmet and was listening to his headphones. Thankfully, no one got hurt.
The safety sensor is a donut shape with a sensor on the inside and surrounded by a rubber thumper.
To further into how it works, we use a clear waterproof case on the sensor to avoid it from getting wet. This ensures that you can go out into the rain without getting water. We also use python coating and proximity set to 30 feet to sense a car 30 feet away from us. This will alert you if the car gets too close.
Our sensor can be attached to many things like helmets, headphones, bikes, and backpacks. It also comes with a travel case so you can bring your sensor anywhere you want. Our sensor.
Finally, we have a website you can go on to just design the sensor when hard is close.
The cover page of our website has an image of the safety sensor and the safety sensor case.
The first page has all the strap options so you can have a choice. There's the Velcro strap, button strap, and clip option.
The last page is the sound page. You can adjust the volume and switch between different sounds, including chime sounds and balloon sounds.
Of course, this is just a rough draft of our website, and our final one will have the actual code to work with the sensor.
Thank you.
All right, congratulations to our 5th grade team. Great job, guys. And now we're going to welcome up our 4th grade team. Come on down. As they approach our 4th grade team, I don't know if you guys know this, but the other day, we had the geography day. And it was all students grades 4, 5, and 6 to take the qualifying test. And then the top 10 scores, they came on stage and they participated in the geography grade. And Primrose Demansky was our champion. 4th grade, very impressive. Don't know what's going on with 6th. I don't know. All right, so they're going to present. I'm going to hold this poster. All right, that's the plan. You got it? All right, cool. Do you want to pass it back?
Hi, everybody. I'm here in improved product. We are Chris Nancy, Cornell Gallery, and Clay Winter. It's a life-changing product. The problem-solving watch, or PSW, and it's not just a watch; it's a savior. The PSW solves problems and saves lives.
Whether it's a serious emergency or just a tough situation, this watch is ready to help.
Car accidents, health issues, house fires, heat waves, we got you. When something goes wrong, the PSW contacts the emergency number or the caregiver and triggers a loud alarm to get attention.
For example, if your heart rate happens to be over 180 or under 40, then PSW will send you an alert to the caregiver and 911, giving the person a chance to see who's the danger. And even with all that power, it's stylish. No one can attack your PSW.
It comes with a variety of colors, patterns, and designs, so you now choose to install in safety and be clever. Its beauty is out of reach.
While looking sleek and sophisticated, it's almost like a conservationist wearing PSW. With a solar-powered screen and eco-friendly materials, the PSW helps you stay green while staying protected. You can choose sustainable straps. Don't be plastic polyurethane or organic. Both are non-toxic and super comfortable. Plus, it comes in 5 straps coming in 3 dazzling colors, so you can customize it however you choose. Orange rose, scarlet, citrus blast, buttercup, zero, sapphire, chrysanthemum, cloudy red, black, and white. There's a whole rainbow for everyone. The PSW works with people of all ages and is built for the real world. One of the quotes from our subject matter expert, Tori Williams, is always run out with custom elements. Anyone can use PSW, whether you're in a rough neighborhood taking care of elderly relative or going to a home. Our inspiration for making this product has many reasons behind it. We know that sudden deaths have become too common and that shouldn't be happening. Making a watch can save so many lives due to the most tragedies. Why should people be living their lives in fear if they don't have to? The major difference between our PSW and other life-saving devices is that ours have more uses than others. Most watches only last for 1 day, but ours is multi-use. And while it does everything, it's eco-friendly too. It has solar panels installed on the screen, so instead of waiting for your watch to charge, you can charge it in front of the sun. Imagine going on a beach vacation but forgetting your watch charger.
We will have you covered. While you relax in the sun, your watch will be soaking up the power to keep it going long. But what if your watch gets wet on the beach or it's raining?
Don't worry, we're forget about this.
Don't fret if it gets wet. PSW is waterproof, so check it for every emergency to keep you safe.
With the problem-solving watch, you're not just checking the time, and you're checking your safety. Don't wait for an emergency to happen when you could be ready now. PSW, where your safety comes first. And again, our names are Primus Kaminsky,
Another Dobby,
and the Big Winner. Anybody wants to see this in their poster?
This poster will be displayed in the back, if anyone wants to check it out later on. Mr. Winder, you're in charge of bringing it home. All right, thank you again very much. Thank you for choosing our work for the students, and I appreciate how well the students of Hudson and Lane Towns represented the district in terms of student bank. So great job, everyone.
Excellent presentation. You know, it's appropriate up in front of people. You all did fantastically. We're going to move on to reports now, starting with our last student representative report.
Good evening, everyone. From Atlantic Highlands Elementary School, we have that APS had many great events over the past few weeks. Mrs. Wolf and Ms. Furman led the student performances in band and sports at the spring concert. Both groups performed beautifully and covered a nice range of musical genres. Congratulations to all our young musicians. Ms. Northrup did an excellent job with the annual art show. The level of work was amazing and displayed talents from students of all ages. This year featured additional projects from the photography club as well as some from the enrichment art groups. Again, congratulations to the Fairfield Band State on winner of the second annual job of the week. Fairfield was 10 finalists representing grades 4 through 6 and won a hard fought victory. Congrats again. From Highland Elementary School, we have a field day to another huge success at APS. Students enjoyed a fun-filled day of outdoor activities, games, and school spirit. A special shout-out was Ms. Cook, physical education teacher who dedicates an incredible amount of time and effort each year to planning this event. Thanks to her organization and creativity, the day ran smoothly and kept students active and having fun from start to finish. This year's biggest hit was the addition of another tank. The HES Mindfulness Day was an incredible experience for our students. The theme focused on teamwork and collaboration, encouraging students to work together with friends and classmates for the betterment of the group. The day kicked off with an engaging and interactive assembly, which set the tone for the day of connection and positivity. A special thank you goes to the Student Council advisors, Ms. McBain and Ms. Armstrong, for their leadership and hard work in organizing such a meaningful event. On Wednesday, May 28th, 6th grade students presented their annual James T. White projects to a panel of judges. Students worked individually or in small groups to research local landmarks, write detailed reports about their history and impact on the Highlands community, and construct impressive models of their chosen sites. The quality of work and student effort this year was outstanding. Winners of the James T. White project will be announced at the 6th grade promotion ceremony. From Henry Hudson Regional School, we have the exciting news that Evelyn Knox earned the title of first place at the 2025 Poetry Ourselves competition. New Jersey Poetry Ourselves is a program inspired by Poetry Out Loud's national competition. This year, the state and regional finalists were invited to participate with the option to submit a written poem or a spoken word poem. Over a 4-week process, students crafted their pieces with a mentor and sent their finalized versions in for judging. Over the course of 4 days, 5 judges intentionally reviewed and scored each of the submissions on structure, voice, and style, use of poetic elements, poetic diction, creativity, and uniqueness. Each participant performed their original poem in front of the audience on Saturday, May 31st, leading to the anticipated announcement as Evie as the state champion. Kudos to Evie, we genuinely look forward to her future of poetry at Henry Hudson. The advanced film class wrapped up their cinematic masterpiece, Stick with the Small Boys. A delicious blend of Breakfast of Vines and Reservoir Dogs' Edge. Picture this, 5 students snuck into detention on a mission to unmask the snitch in their midst. The drama unfolds on the HHRS YouTube channel, so grab your popcorn and dive into the intrigue. Miss Fair reports the following. They just celebrated the Performing Arts student with a barbecue at HHRS. All seniors were recognized with their involvement in one or more performing arts that they were in their high school careers. The art club students painted a mural for the Highland Skate Park on June 6th for the community. Mrs. Silver reports that the 5th annual Mental Health Awareness Fair took place on Thursday, May 22nd at Hudson. Students, staff, and parents have the opportunity to interact with local agencies that provide health and wellness support to students and adults. Our students learned something new and obtained information about local resources in our community. Some agencies represented at the fair include the Mental Health Association, CPC Behavioral Healthcare, Municipal Alliance, Common Ground, a school dietitian, and CHADP, Children and Adults with Attention Deficit Disorder. Mrs. De Silva, Ms. Lagacci, and Ms. Haynes provided information and resources, and Ms. Haynes gave out free books to students. The GSA marched for the 5th year in the Jersey Pride Parade on June 1st. Mr. Butler and Mr. Boylan joined Mrs. Boylan and the GSA members to march while Mrs. Way drove the bus truss and had the horn honking all the way through. The crowd loved seeing the big yellow bus decorated with flags and posters in the parade as a visual example of pride belonging in schools. Mrs. Boylan said that watching the students get showered with affirmations and love from the crowd is a very special experience for her as an advisor as well as a parent. She wishes they could bottle it up and save it for the other 11 months of the year after Pride. The boys tennis team finished with a very successful season with an 11-5 record, making it into the second round of states. The team was led by #1 singles Ethan Hartzberg. Everyone contributed throughout the season, and coaches Scott Isaacs and Tom Lynch look forward to next season and the return of many players. The Triangle Music Honor Society hosted their first Henry Hudson talent show on Friday, June 6th. The show consisted of 8 acts featuring rock bands, musical numbers, and original poetry. Prizes were handed out to the top 3 acts of the night, thanks to all the local businesses, the Highlands Business Partnership, and the annual music patrons for their donations. Mrs. DeSanto and Ms. Farragut report that the Student Council class officer elections for the 2025-2026 school year were held on June 6th for students in grades 7 to 11. The Executive Student Council in class of 2026 president will be Nathan Bonds, and your new student representative to the Board of Education beginning in September will be Cole Hermanson. On June 10th, the cafeteria was filled with pride and celebration as HHRS hosted its annual Senior Awards Game. Over the course of 2 hours, more than 30 seniors were honored with scholarships, awards, and generously given by members of the HHRS community and various outside organizations. And over $30,000 in awards were distributed, recognizing the hard work, dedication, and achievements of our graduating class. We are incredibly grateful for the continued support from our school community and partners beyond. This special evening is a highlight of the year and marks the beginning of the end for the class of 2025. The 11th and 12th graders enjoyed another successful prom. Prom was held on Thursday, May 29th at the beautiful windows of the water. Over 100 students attended this unforgettable night filled with music, dancing, and celebration. The evening was capped off by a stunning sunset over the river, making for a perfect backdrop to a memorable event. Ms. DeWinger and Ms. DeSanto, National Honor Society advisors, are very proud of this year's group and their charitable endeavors. As a result of their successful fundraising efforts and in the spirit of generosity, the National Honor Society ended the school year by distributing the following donations: $380 for the purchase of yearbooks to seniors who otherwise cannot afford them, $250 to the Monmouth County SPCA, $250 to fulfill food bank loads in Monmouth County, and $250 in support of boys basketball coach Brian Kelly and his son Brady, as Coach Kelly prepares to run a New York Marathon this fall to benefit Children's Specialized Hospital. Here it is, guys, my final statement. I'm truly honored and grateful for this opportunity to have served as your student board representative this past year. It's been an incredible experience, and I want to thank you for all your trust and support. I've learned so much from this role, and I'm excited to see what the future holds for our school. Thank you again for everything.
Thank you very much, Mr. Dan, for tonight, the past 12 months. Superintendent report, Dr. Gaines.
All right, so this is the last meeting of the year, and as we've been doing the last couple meetings, our countdown now stands at 2 full days and 2.5 days left in the last school year. So I know that a lot of kids are going to be excited that those 2.5 or 3 full days will fly by. Our last strategic planning meeting was held on June 4th. The goals and objectives created by the groups, as well as all of the documents from our planning meeting, are up and posted on the district website so everyone can see them. The administrative team will work over the summer on creating the action plans associated with the goals and objectives that were created, and then these will be presented to the board and the public at our August meeting. As you've heard from all of the reports, the last 2 weeks are very busy. I was able to see some incredible art and music performances at the elementary schools. Mrs. Wolf and her student mentor, Ms. Arlino, did a phenomenal job with the AHES grades 1 through 3 showcase. Followed by that, Mrs. Wolf and Mrs. Furta and the AHES beginner band, tiger band, and chorus delivered an impressive spring concert. Mrs. Northrop and the students from both EGS and AHES displayed some of their creativity, talents, and artistic vision in absolutely fabulous art shows in both schools. And finally, Mrs. Furta rounded out the concert season with an amazing performance by the AHES beginner band, Osprey band, and AHES chorus. It is promotion and graduation season, and we have already seen some of our youngest learners show what they learned this year. AHES hosted their first kindergarten and pre-K stepping up ceremonies, and AHES preschool students celebrated their promotion today. Tomorrow, we will celebrate AHES 6th grade promotion ceremony, followed by the AHES kindergarten ceremony. Friday, it is the AHES 6th graders' turn to be celebrated, as our 6th graders leave one school and embark further up the hill to Hudson. On Monday, we will promote our 8th graders to their last leg of our pre-K journey. And finally, on Tuesday, we will say so long, not goodbye, as we graduate the senior class of 2025 and send them off into the world to accomplish their goals. Speaking of seniors, last night, Mr. Winger and Mrs. Gallagher organized and hosted one of the greatest events of the year, our Senior Awards Night. As everybody has said, community organizations, leaders, alumni, and staff, some of our staff organizations awarded thousands of dollars in awards and scholarships to our students. The generosity from these communities is absolutely amazing. In my 20+ years of education, I have been to a lot of senior awards nights. There's a few community organizations that donate. Usually the same groups of students get the awards over and over again, and that is never the case up here. The generosity of our community partners is absolutely unmatched, and the diversity of talents and experiences of our students are absolutely amazing and outstanding. It is absolutely an incredible night. I have the pleasure, of honoring our student representative on behalf of the board. For those of you that don't know, Juliana is an absolute bright and shining star in this school. She is always full of positivity. She bleeds being an admiral through and through. She is always engaging in her conversations. Some kids sometimes see adults walk in the room and they kind of gravitate away, or it's, kind of not returning. She has been such an excellent representative to the board, so I'm really going to miss her. And it was really interesting tonight to see this food tank presentation, because I had the honor of going into our STEAM Academy last week and watching our seniors present their senior capstone project. So Juliana, Mackenzie, Madison, and Leo, they all presented very similar presentations. So this work that our students are doing with Ms. Bellatoni and Ms. Soma down in the elementary schools, I actually got to see the culmination of that work for our seniors who presented their capstone program. So well done by our teachers. That really does make a difference, and they can see that practical journey. So congratulations. And finally, I just want to thank every single member of our Henry Hudson Regional School District community for another great year of learning and exploration. Every day, our students show kindness, curiosity, growth, and progress, and it is very rewarding. I thank you all, and I hope everyone has a wonderful summer.
Thank you, Dr. Dr. Mark, just to address things that are going on, as I'm sure many of you were aware, there was some activity in visualization on Friday. We also, the state Supreme Court has also agreed to take on the case of Ocean Court instead short. We do not have any information at this time because this was happening Friday. We are going to do executive session to discuss it. Additionally, there was some information that came out on a climate survey. This board is aware of it fully. We have to, both after speaking to both the union head and the superintendent, they are both of the mindset to have a conversation with the board included. Right now, what we're doing is figuring out by state statute how the board can be included in that conversation. But I can assure you that this board supports its teachers, its administrative staff, because if we don't do that, we are not supporting our students. All right, so that's why we're all here, it's our students. But again, if anyone does have any comments on that, this is very, very individuals. All right, so we have not had time to get together. This is our first meeting for both items. All right, that's my report. I skipped right over Mr. Sherlock. Sorry, Mr. Sherlock.
Luckily, I don't really have a regret. I just want to say that it's been a very, very crazy year, and I'm so proud of everybody in the board office as well as all of the staff that's been, and so many changes this year. And we got through our first year for regional school district. So it's a lot on the board office, and we have maybe these few little things to still work out that they combine to the state level. Otherwise, they don't agree.
Thank you, Mr. I will use the color highlighter next time in my next board members, the committees that did meet, Ms. Wells sent out thanks to Mrs. Wells' recommendation, sent out their reports a little bit early, but for the public, we're going to do committee reports for those who met over the past month. Personnel.
Good evening, everybody. I'm in charge of the Personnel Committee, and the people that were in attendance were myself, Ms. Burrell, Mr. Thomas, and Mrs. Knox. We met on June 4th from 5 to 6 p.m., and the topics that were covered were personnel turnover data, open positions, all positions are filled for the entire district, and we also talked about staff placements and transfers. So thank you.
Thank you, Mr. Coast. Mrs. Thomas, Finance and Facilities.
Okay, we also met on June 4th. Present were myself, Justin Thomas, Corey Whittier, Mrs. Wells was absent, and Mrs. Sherlock. Mrs. Sherlock explained and met with us and went over all the items that you can find on page 5, 6, and 7 in the agenda. Highlights involve revision of the use of the facilities form. We've had it for a long time. We're going to revise that. It's going to be revised. There will be replacements of loudspeakers in the high school gym. There's a purchase of 130 computers to replace existing computers that are outdated or outdated. We are also assessing the softball field that is proposed for the field by the Highlands Elementary School, and we have a geotechnical engineer who's going to work with us or tell us what needs to be done in that area, and also the architectural design. 2 dugouts are going to be placed in the lower ball field up here for the varsity, where the varsity boys play. And they will have a concrete pad, and they will be and cover so they'll be out of the sun. And all gym floors in all 3 schools are going to be finished this summer. There's a lot of other things that involve a lot of money and stuff, but I'm not reporting on this.
Thank you, Mrs. Thomas. Next up is instruction programs with Mr. Winger.
Hi all, so we met June 5th, it was Dr. Davies, it was Rich, it was Gina and myself, a couple of notes. So we talked about our annual contract renewals. So it was facilities contracts, administration association dues, curriculum contracts, program resources, and software subscriptions. All contracts representing continuation of previously board-approved services. It's already included budget, so we need to go through that. And then we also readopted previously approved curriculum and textbooks annually with no changes to the certificates. We talked about the summer curriculum writing projects, summer curriculum writing projects. So curriculum writing project was significantly reduced from last year to minimal projects this year. The details of that are in the agenda if you guys want to come through that. The bulk of the remaining projects focus on template and standards revisions to update ELA and math from old standards to new standards. And then we talked about revising basically the 6th grade math curriculum to align closely with the 7th and 12th grade science program. They really kind of their own on an island, right? There's something specific for K-5, 6 have their own, and 7th and 12th grade program. So we're now more closely aligning 6th to 7th and 12th. Math consulting report. So Mr. Teeple completed his comprehensive math consulting report after serving as our interim curriculum director. The administration is going to review that. Some of the recommendations are talking about basically when you teach math. Right now it's kind of always in the morning, it's the same time of day, so we're deciding is there a possibility to move that later on, so the same kids don't have it at the same time. Talk about the Nova pilot, so Nova math pilot. So the kindergarten and secondary teachers who piloted the program had very positive feedback. It focused on the 6-fold spiral approach. So basically all math concepts are related, and it works its way up through starting with the basics to more advanced mathematical concepts. We had a lot of feedback early on. I don't think people they were happy, but they had a lot of feedback in the company and took that part. It was very nice to see that make changes that they suggested. It's somewhat new, I think, to have the company do that for you. So we're happy with how they're approaching our feedback. And we're considering a gradual rollout that starting with younger elementary students and intervention tools with adaptive technology that generates standard-based intervention lessons. So hopefully we can adapt to how the students are doing well or not doing so well, then moving forward with that. We do have the NJ GPA assessment results, and that stands for the Graduation Proficiency Assessment. They're embargoed until June 17th when these individual school reports are released, so if you have them, we can't talk about them yet. A bit about our summer initiatives. So Dr. Bates already talked about the strategic planning that's due August 4th. There's a bunch of faces in the crowd that's at the strategic planning. It's nice to see people from the community. A lot of students came out, a lot of us from the board were there. So it's very interesting, very excited to see kind of where that ends up. It was a good time across the 3 nights. We're talking about the professional development needs assessment being sent out. So basically asking teachers kind of what their preferences are for professional development, so we can move on to that. Talking about building individual professional development calendars, June to January for the teachers, and then individual assessment calendars, because before it was just ability development, and now it's talking about how well you learn for that development, how well it's actually treating you, what are you improving upon, so there's assessments that go along with that. And then this is actually very interesting. So we're talking about the Parent Professional Development Academy, plan to help parents understand the programs that are going out there, the different learning methods and the educational technology. I think a lot of times parents who run these need to talk about another thing, so we're having to bring them closer together to the plan that we have for the future. And then there's also additional family curriculum that's planned for middle and high school levels just beyond the elementary stuff. Last but not least, there is going to be a 6th grade transition feasibility study. So we will talk about the rationale to basically move the 6th graders up, talk about how it makes more sense to have 6th to 8th program altogether, social and emotional benefits, participation in more age-appropriate clubs. I don't know if you were gone to anything at the high school. You have essentially where the elementary school with 4-year-olds really excited for magicians, and then there's 6th graders that are wondering what out here. So if you group them together, it might be a bit more appropriate for them. They'll be able to participate in more athletics programs and then hopefully work on retention for grades 9 and 12. There will be a go, no-go recommendation targeted for January of 2026, and we can implement that as early as the 26-27 school year. That's it.
Thank you, sir. Next item on the agenda is public comments on agenda items.
President, can I just say one thing? I'm sorry. It should have been older since I'm only 4 years old. So I just wanted to say the cupcake course was phenomenal. The kids did outstanding. Like it was the first Highlands Elementary, AHS combined like after school thing, and it was fantastic. And I still have a stomachache, so it's not good business because I'm still eating cupcakes because you had vitamins and all those my kids wearing some vitamins on the tree. And my kids look really okay. It's just a little but that's okay. But the event was great, and I loved it, and I would be remiss if we didn't talk about the carnival boat race, because even came on board, and we're a little nervous, like, at the beginning of the week, there was like 7 boats registered. And then, thank goodness, there was a lot. There was a lot of boats. They did fantastic. The weather, we had a lot better weather than the rain that was going to be at the sandbox at 3:30, so I'm glad we were out there by then. But I would like to let Mary know thank you to Spencer for letting us dump all that carpet in front of the backyard, which was not an easy feat either. That's the only thing he said for next year. When you're done with your boat race, your boat goes in the box, you don't play with it all day because it's like 500 pounds a boat. We were like this, trying to work it out. But great day had by all. The kids were so ingenious with what they built. Some were, and some of them just built it right then and there. But the foundation did a great job. Please tell Spencer, thank you so much for, allowing us to do that so that way we weren't a problem at C Street and a problem anywhere. And I look forward to it next year. So sorry about that, but didn't seem old enough yet, but it is.
No problem. Public comments on agenda items. Anyone?
It's okay.
You guys decided what to go first.
You go first.
Okay. Agenda items. Yep. Agenda items.
I'm just going to speak to Mr. Wall's comment that if you need to have DPW on site next year, so they can go into the truck.
Mayor, you don't know, you already stated.
Right. Carolyn Bouillon is welcome on the street. If you need DPW to be there on site with the truck, there's always someone on schedule at that time at the yard. So if that makes life easier for the parents, because the kids aren't pulling those things anyway. But it was great to see so many people and so many people from the community there having a great time. And I got to meet Dr. Bea's husband.
Thank you.
Thank you, Mayor.
So, Meryl Christie, analyst from Jackson Street. Excuse me. So I just wanted to make a comment and a little more questions on what you mentioned earlier. I know it's new news, this plan.
This is the agenda item.
Yes, I have it's about the agenda.
No, everything after this, not all further report. So any comments on that, go to the next public comment section.
Okay.
Which is after we do this portion.
So
it's about 10 minutes from now.
okay.
Okay. It's about 10 minutes from now.
Next item on the agenda. Oh, I didn't see, I'm sorry. That's you.
Hi, Elizabeth Ettra, 123A East Diamond. Just quick question for page 15 to 16 for the extracurricular appointments.
There's not a soccer boys team, but I imagine them just coming. It's okay if you don't answer.
Yes.
Sorry.
Oh, no, we have a soccer team. We just haven't posted and we're waiting to appoint the coach. Yes.
I didn't see basketball on there either, so yes. For middle school. I have time. Next item on the agenda is the approval of minutes, please. I need a motion. These are the minutes for the regular meeting from May 14th and the executive session minutes from May 14th as well. Motion, please.
Motion goes
A second, please. Roll call.
Ms. Burlow?
Yes.
Ms. Joseph?
Yes.
Ms. Melvin?
Yes.
Mr. Thomas?
Yes.
Ms. Thomas?
Yes.
Ms. Wells?
Yes.
Mr. Wingberger?
Yes.
Mr. Colangelo?
Yes. Next item on the agenda is correspondence. We appear to have none. Has that changed anyway? No? Thank you. Next item on the agenda is facility and use requests for buildings and grounds. We have a request for the Christmas pantomime, the HW Library Summer Reading Assembly, and the HHRS Youth Field Hockey Camp. May I have a motion? And a second.
So moved.
Roll call, please.
Ms. Burlow?
Yes.
Ms. Joseph?
Yes.
Ms. Melvin?
Yes.
Mr. Thomas?
Yes.
Ms. Thomas?
Yes.
Ms. Wells?
Yes.
Mr. Wingberger?
Yes.
Mr. Colangelo?
Yes. The next item on the agenda is the consent agendas. We need a motion to the board president, that's me, request a vote on a consent agenda for the remainder of the meeting, including statistics, HIV reports, curriculum and instruction, policy, superintendent's consent agenda, business committees, administrators consent agenda, personnel, and an addendum. Now, before we move on this, is there anything I want to plug? Then I need a motion on consent agenda. Mrs. Thomas? No, I'm just saying, take a second, Ross. Yeah. All right. Mrs. Sherlock, roll call, please.
Ms. Burlow?
I'm sorry. Does anyone have any discussion on this consent agenda? Sorry. That's my fault. Sorry about that, Mrs. Sherlock. Roll call, please.
Ms. Burlow?
Yes.
Ms. Joseph?
Yes.
Ms. Melvin?
Yes.
Mr. Thomas?
Yes.
Ms. Thomas?
Yes.
Ms. Wells?
Yes.
Mr. Wingberger?
Yes.
Mr. Colangelo?
Yes. Next item on the agenda is new business. Does any board member have any new business? Mrs. Thomas?
I would like to suggest us thinking about adding the attendance and enrollment to our statistics in the future. We talked about, we have fire drills and things like that, but I think attendance is really important. And it would be nice for the board to see our attendance and percentages. We have it at Highlands Elementary School, and it's not on these agendas. So I was thinking that we could add that and also in enrollment numbers around the district.
Noted.
Thank you.
Now, it's time for public comment on items not on the agenda. Ms. Christie, there you go.
Hi. So that climate survey that I know you don't know anything about earlier, it's new, et cetera. I'm not expecting an answer, but I'm more so, when will we, with the summer coming, when are we going to hear feedback as to what's going to change? Like, it's a horrendous outcome.
As discussed, both the superintendent and the union would like to sit down and discuss and involve the board.
Yeah.
They both said that, and they both do want to work together.
Right.
So the first step is for them to, again, this is brand spanking new. This is Sunday evening, most of us didn't even see it until Monday morning, to be fair.
Yep.
It's Wednesday.
I'm not looking for an answer tonight, I'm just saying, how soon do you think we'll hear? Because
It's
this has been,
it's impossible, for that question specifically,
yeah.
you've got to give it at least until the next meeting before asking that question, just so we can have a chance to get it right.
I just speak on behalf of like everyone here that it's a real big problem.
Completely,
Yep.
completely understand your feelings, we just, and
Yeah,
your
take your
comments.
time. I mean, just know that everyone here is feeling that, you know, whatever works us, but we feel that, so thank you.
I'm sorry, someone jumped up. I can't see by, are you going up? You are.
I'm going up, yeah.
Can you hear me okay?
I can, so you can give your name and address for the record.
Sure, my name is Mr. Sullivan, Mr. Matthew Soul. My address is 64 Prospect Circle, Atlantic County. I just wanted to say, in the past 2 years, close to half of our administrations have left. Prospective teachers have exited mid-year. Special education services have been disrupted. Legal obligations overlooked, and families left with no real answers. Our school rating has gone from 9 to 6. What's often presented as that doesn't match what families are actually experiencing. Parents are worried, students are being impacted, and trust is quietly eroding. Many of us have tried to engage in good faith to bridge a disconnect between what's said here and what's happening in the schools. The community is trying to communicate. We approach this practically and respectfully, but like others before us, we're met with reports that deflect, reframe, and misrepresent, always landing in the same conclusion that everything is fine. It's not. We cross-checked the report against the board minutes and public records. We tried to be fair, but what we found tells a different story. One where the optics are carefully managed, while outcomes continue to decline. And the community is still suffering because of it. Because of the time during the public comment, I'll be submitting a list of identified gaps in the superintendent's attrition data for the official record. We want to ensure that full context is preserved, even when messaging is tightly controlled. So I'll ask, what can this board do right now to restore trust, ensure accountability, and protect our students and teachers? We've heard plenty about what can't be done. We're told to trust the process, as if a slogan can replace transparency or results. But trust isn't rebuilt with talking points. It's rebuilt with honesty, humility, and action. I fully expect retaliation for saying this. Our child has been marked unexcused absent when they were present. My wife was met by multiple security guards for simply picking up our child from the nurse's office. Heavy stuff, I know. But still, it's not a coincidence. These aren't isolated incidents.
Mr. Sullivan, that's something with pretty grave accusations right there, without anyone on this board or the public know for sure. So I'm gonna ask that anything like that, either by email, is completely totally movable, like anyone in the public. If you have those concerns, please email me. Not, excuse me. Not those two accusations, just be right there, sir.
Okay, I'll put an email for you. Again, check your junk box, by the way. I fully expect retaliation for things. Yeah, so these aren't isolated incidents. They reflect a culture more focused on control than care. So again, not what can't be done, but what will be done. Because when the dust settles in this community will remember who led and who hid. Thanks.
I have 2 questions real quick, Matt. Matt, can I get 2 questions? Can you email Rich? You said there were missed legal obligations. You said there were missed legal obligations.
Yeah.
I just want to know if you can email Rich whether those were. You can copy this to Rich.
By the way, every board member was copied on my communications on the BCC. All right, so they have, and that's for your information, so they have the correspondence going back and forth.
Okay, I'll go with Rich. Thanks, Alex. I was just going to say the exact site that the school rating from a 9 to a 6.
Mr. Wicker, I will call the same protocol with Blind Harvard copying the board, so do a quorum, that is the only reason that is done. not to keep any board in the dark or to hide from anyone with inquiries that the board is coming.
Hi, I'm Colleen Langford, 139 Center Avenue, Atlantic Highlands. As was confirmed by the recent teacher climate survey, the school administration has operated under a culture of retaliation. And it is a fear of retaliation that has stopped me and many others from speaking out in the past. I am no longer afraid of retaliation. It is time to stop protecting this administration and start protecting the children in the district. I'd like to make a statement that I put together. Good evening, members of the board. I stand before you this evening on behalf of many concerned parents to advocate for the most vulnerable members of our school community, our children with disabilities. It is with urgency and deep concern that we bring to your attention what appears to be a continued pattern of unethical, irresponsible, and potentially unlawful conduct by the Director of Special Education, Denise Lombardi.
I'm sorry, we cannot discuss, and I do understand the concern, we cannot have a...
Can you just tell me what section of the law states that?
Yeah, the section that says you can't discuss personnel...
What section of the law? I'm just...
sorry.
Would you be able to comment on that?
But I would always caution you, because the board do things. One, the board cannot comment at all. And the other is that individuals who speak about other individuals and staff members can be held personally liable for defamation. So I was just going to...
Okay, I'll redact the names. I'll redact the names. I can forward my statement. Thank you. Unlawful conduct by the Director of Special Education. According to both the New Jersey Administrative Code and federal law under the Individuals with Disabilities Education Act, IDEA, children with disabilities are entitled to a free, appropriate public education in a least restrictive environment, consistent with their individualized education program. Unfortunately, under her leadership, unfortunately, this fundamental right has been compromised. Parents have documented multiple instances where IEPs were not implemented as written, including the unauthorized removal of essential...
I'm going to stop this right now, because this is actually, if you do have something against the administrator of the school, I'm going to ask you to file an official complaint through the proper legal channels. We cannot allow as a board to allow, whether you use the name or not, it's obvious who you're talking about, that is a personnel issue.
Okay, well, I'll just remove the person and I'll continue with the program and I'll stay on that. That's okay. This is just special education over the last couple of years, so I won't remove the name and I won't address that specifically the person. Rather, this is a troubling pattern of systematic neglect, lack of transparency, and indifference to the needs of students with disabilities. Such practices not only erode the trust of families, but also undermine the core principles of IDEA and violate students' civil rights. We, the families of this district, are not asking for special treatment. We are asking lawful, ethical, and compassionate leadership that prioritizes educational rights and well-being of all students. Our children deserve no less. Therefore, we respectfully urge the Board of Education to take immediate, decisive action. Specifically, we ask you to launch an independent investigation into these reported violations, require full compliance with all provisions of IDEA and the New Jersey Administrative Code. Immediately restore any services and supports that were improperly removed, and ensure CPAC meetings are properly scheduled. They have not been. In accordance with state law,
Excuse me, just want to clarify something specifically. The board may not engage in that kind of activity. It's an ethics violation for them to do that. It is appropriate for you to raise your concerns, and especially to raise them with the superintendent. There are also avenues that, given what I'm listening to and hearing you say, that you may be aware of, also through the Department of Education. So, and I will always remind everyone, including the board, that the board has one employee. The board is not allowed to administer. The board is not allowed
to engage in independent investigations.
Okay, that's fine. I'll just give my letter to the Board of Ed members and then send it to the state. Okay.
That would be appropriate.
Okay.
But there are other legal avenues.
Okay, I just wanted to make everybody aware of exactly what was going on, let the public know exactly what's going on within our school district. Thank you for your time.
I have a question, because we're hearing about the climate survey. I received one email that said it would be discussed tonight in the executive. Have board members seen this? Because the public hasn't. So I haven't seen it. I heard it's going to be an executive. So I'm just wondering if half the board has seen it, half hasn't. I have not.
Really, what we're going to do is go over an executive session. Have you seen it? Here it is. Here's what's there. Okay, this is not a document received by the board. Okay, this is.
Okay, well, it's hard for us to sit up here and hear a climate
We're not, we can't talk about it here.
But parents had, I don't know what's happening.
Again, this is not a board received document. Okay? Any other comments from the public? Ms. Newman, you know you are again, please state your name and address.
Islands. I was just looking at the out-of-district student placements that's being approved. They all show amounts and total costs except for one. It says to be determined. Why would that necessarily say to be determined instead of having a map?
I'm actually going to defer to either the business administrator or the superintendent on that one, Ms. Newman.
Okay. I think it's because we haven't received the contract. So we wanted to do the placement, and we're still waiting on the contract. Sometimes the schools take a long time. Like they might have their meeting tomorrow, and then they'll send us the contract, so they won't send us the contract until.
Okay, so the contract is at a totally different time than the IEP meeting and signing.
Oh, yeah, so this is.
So the child's already in place, but if the child's already in place and the IEP signed, then you can come to an agreement.
No, that doesn't. It's really just a timing difference, and it's to say that we're placing the child there, but we don't have a dollar amount yet. So the dollar amount is to be determined, but the placement is there. And that is, because they might be attending ESY, so we want to.
He's not attending ESY. It's my child, sorry.
It doesn't matter, it's just still, that's why we do it. So
Yeah, I was just asking, because this is the.
they are ready on July 1st to be accepted to that school. So the board has said, yes, we'll place them, even though we aren't sure of the cost yet, we will place them.
Oh, okay, I was just checking.
It's just because they haven't set up.
Okay, great.
Anybody else? Someone got up behind me, it's here. Come on up, Miss.
It's a short one. Hi, my name is Nikki Hearn. I live at 92 3rd Avenue in LA. And with seeing the amazing showcase, the wonderful art show that was held at Atlantic this week, I think parents had an opportunity to talk to teachers. They hadn't really had a chance to talk to them, even though they were amazing events and the kids were so happy and you could tell the teachers worked so hard. It was an opportunity for teachers to pull some parents aside and say that they're heartbroken, that they don't have the amount of time with kids that they need to have in order to get their curriculum done, in order to reach children and enrich their lives the way that they hope, especially, and I know it's not called Challenge Art and Challenge Drama anymore, but those programs specifically are very limited, the amount of time and the times during the day are so limited that kids are opting out of being in these programs, even though teachers miss having them, and really can't even perform up to the task of those programs because they're already stretched so thin between two different schools. And I just wanted to share that with people, let people know.
Can I comment on that, Ms. Hart? I think it's unfortunate that teachers in this district are putting parents in that position. We do live in a very close-knit community that, as a board member and a teacher, that wasn't appropriate for them to voice concerns to. I have to say that as a board member.
Sure. I didn't feel burdened by it. It wasn't, I'm not going to point to any teachers specifically, but I did want to say that even though it feels like a very loving community, I can tell that these teachers are stretched thin, and it's not just that comment that made me feel like that. I just wanted to voice that.
Anybody else?
Diana, sixth grade, and so just a few things that you said, I have a sixth grader.
Make sure I'll do
Sorry,
that.
Diana Chaba. And this is just like an idea. And the sixth grader who loves Challenger Home Drama, she did it last year. I have been hearing that because I just want to echo what he said, because the two top kids in sixth grade who love drama and art don't want to be in challenge for drama anymore because it's during lunch. They get 20 minutes to do lunch, and they can go do challenge drama. They're bringing their lunch to drama or art, and it's uncomfortable. It's not fun. So I just wanted to echo what you said because it's not working, and I'm kind of worried it's going to end up having really low sign up, and then it's going to say, well, it's canceled because kids don't want to sign up anymore, but they don't want to sign up because they used to be during intervention where they had a whole 45 minutes or whatever to do it. It was really fun, and it's actually pulling them during lunch just makes it not fun. So if we want to keep like the arts going in the school district, it would be really good to take that into consideration of keeping this kind of stuff, worthwhile for the kids. But anyway. They do like the program, I'll be able to do it.
Thank you. And Ms. Sherlock, Mrs. Sherlock, did you get that address?
Yeah.
Okay, thank you.
May I respond to that very, very quickly? I really appreciate that input, and I think a lot of us are seeing that some of the best things that are going on in our schools are all the creative and scientific advancements, and that's probably what's most important these days in preparing our kids for the future. And I hear a lot about resources and sharing resources. I think that the board and the community should really consider when we're moving forward with looking at bringing the sixth grade to Henry Hudson, that we also expand that to perhaps looking at having all of our kiddos in elementary school in one place, all of our kiddos in middle school in another, and keeping Hudson pretty much where it is. Because I think some of these challenges we have with the resources, the teacher availability, the ability to buy all of the programming. Essentially, if we have two elementary schools down the street from each other, we're doubling our resources every time. So I love that you love the arts, and I love that the kids love the arts. When I was a teacher for 20 years, I know there were students who only showed up for creative writing, and the rest of their day was awful. And so if whatever gets them in the door, same thing with sports. If we get them in the door with the sports, let's do it. If we get them in the door with e-sports, let's do it. So I would like if we expand our vision of changing the districts beyond just considering sixth grade, and perhaps make that survey look at other options for the community as well. Thank you.
Thank you, Ms. Norman. Anybody else in the board? Okay, so I'm going to go here first. I'm going to go here first. I'll come to you back. Come on up, please.
Laura Cassidy, and I'm at YOT Centre Avenue at Mountain Highlands. And I just have a quick question. I have 3 children going through this school, and 2 of my daughters graduated and they went through the challenge program that was at Mountain Highlands, and also to the pre-article one that was here at Hudson, and had a great experience. And then those programs were taken away. And I know that in the past we've said that those programs were taken away because they weren't state compliant, which I understand. But at the same time, my understanding is that Hudson School actually school districts have created challenge programs. And so they managed to navigate the state legislature. Why is it that Atlantic Highlands is taking things away instead of looking at how we can keep things? And I wanted to put that out there because I feel that we're in the mindset of taking away instead of looking at how we can keep things.
And it's disappointing because the level of education that my two older daughters got compared to the education that my youngest daughter gets is not even comparable. And as a district, I feel we should be ashamed of that. Okay?
Thank you.
Thank you. We talked about the Hudson programs, and I believe we've modeled our programs after their programs, and the Hudson, the similarities. Yeah, we've heard this before, right? The SUTA Act basically went over the pull outs for students who wasn't working.
Right, so the Hudson program is not the same as the Challenge program was. The Challenge program was a replacement program for ELA and math. It wasn't in addition to ELA and math instruction, it was a replacement program. So kids were just, that was where they went for reading, that was where they went for math. The program in Rumson is broken up for ELA and math, but it's project-based learning. So it's the same type of curriculum that we have for our program. We just don't have the resources to break it up the way that they do because they are, just the way that their schools are structured, because they are broken up differently. But it's the same type of curriculum, the same type of projects. They are just specific to ELA and math, but it is not like the Challenge program. The Challenge program, which was only held in Atlantic Highlands, was a replacement program for ELA and math. So students went to that class for their ELA class or their math class. That's not what happens at Rumson. That is in addition to their ELA and math class, and that was not what the Challenge program was. That's why the Challenge program, again, was removed by the former administration, because when that law came out, it did not meet those needs.
Yes, do you want to go this week? If we're able to answer it, it's not.
My name is Robin Daniel. I'm on William Street in Highlands. It's just to piggyback the conversation that I just have a question that, okay. So I'm in due process. I'm not actually allowed to talk about my problem. So my question is, I was advised by my attorney, my question might be for the board attorney. If we as a community have an issue, what is the chain of command? We go to, because if we can't bring it to the board, then we bring it to, like, I personally went to Dr. Beans and had a really great conversation with him. So what is the chain of command so that people can understand what they need to be doing?
That is the chain of command. The chain of command would be to the director, then it is to Dr. Beans. Your next step after that is actually the Department of Education.
Okay. So the board really, I guess my question is, then what is the board's job?
The board,
I know it sounds ridiculous, but like, I need to understand why, if people are presenting it, does the board review the concerns? It's a silly question, but I literally want to know.
what I will tell you is this. If there are a series of concerns that the board sees that gets brought to them, then what the board can do, and I did not work with those boards and folks, but my partner John is on this, is the board would say to the superintendent who is their employee, what's going on, tell us what's going on, if there's a problem, fix it. That is the board's role. So the board their role is really to not, the language that it is not to run the districts, but it is to see that they are run well. If the board sees that there is something where it is not run well, their job is to address that, and their job is to address that to their one employee, technically, and that is the superintendent.
Okay, thank you.
Could I just clarify something? I don't have a JD, I'm not a lawyer, but I am a certified master board member, and there might have been a step you left over there, and we appreciate people following the chain of command. You start building wise, you start with the teacher, you start with the principal. But eventually, if you get to the superintendent and you've interacted with the superintendent and you still do not find satisfaction, the NJSBA would advise you to then go to the Board of Education and you not have to go to the Director or the Commissioner of Education.
But I would clarify, you can present, like you just did,
your concerns to the board, you can present them in writing, that I hear that you are what you're doing. You can speak during public comment. Every board of education is required to have a public comment. But my specific clarification is the board is not permitted to address it directly.
I just don't want anyone in this community, because I feel like it's a theme we're hearing tonight, and maybe something some people have felt themselves. I don't want anyone in this community to feel intimidated or discouraged from communicating their concerns to this Board of Education.
Sure, I just want to say one more thing. I don't mean to be suggesting at all that the board is paper typers and that they have no authority. I'm just saying that there's a process and that they have to follow in order for them to specifically address things.
Anyone else? Ms. Christie.
Sorry, just one more thing for me. So, I just feel like, it feels like what Laura just said, her 2 kids went through the school, it was amazing. Her third daughter is now going through it. She feels like it's so different. You guys respond with, well, things have changed, we have to make changes, but we're saying it's not working, the Challenger program's not working. Like, it feels like nothing's right anymore at the school, and like everyone's experience, especially those who've had older kids that went through the school, feel like it's just going down the gutter. And your response is we replaced it with this program that everyone says is a joke. So it's like, how do we make it better? And how do we talk to the superintendent and feel like she's listening and responsive and not combative and work together? Because really, we're here for the kids, and it feels like when we say anything to her, it's just an attack, and it's just kind of getting old.
Again, superintendent, that's up to the personnel thing, okay? If that's okay, that's... Any other, Ms. Fisher? She's got I'm so sorry. I keep on popping up behind you, and I see it popping up like the left.
Come on, just really quickly to that comment, I just want to say something. So our teachers that teach in our Quest program, and our G&T and our accelerated teachers are outstanding. The program is not a joke. We just saw some of the efforts of those students that participated in that program. The kids are doing amazing work. I don't teach the classes. We work with our teachers to collaborate. 2 of those teachers are in the audience. To say that our program is a joke, that our teachers work so hard to teach, that is not, I cannot sit here and accept that that's acceptable. The teachers collaborate on those programs, they create the curriculum, and our kids tonight presented incredible work in both of those schools.
It's a survey. I mean, surveys not surveys.
Order. We do not stand up and speak. Mr. Smith, please.
Good evening. Thank you.
And once again, I apologize for them popping up. So
I know I'm hard to see in the front row. Just seems a little strange. Muriel Smith, 29 London Avenue, Atlantic Highlands, New Jersey. Hearing so many parents here tonight say so many things, then I think it's necessary for me to tell you that I've been in this town in this district for 70 years. 70 years I've been here. And I've built up, a lot of people have built up a lot of trust and a lot of confidence in me. I have a reputation for being honest, and I have a reputation for being a decent person. This board might want to know that I have had many calls from people who are afraid to give their names.
I do understand it, but hearsay is not the word. I mean, if you do as a comment.
I understand what you're saying. You know, the first thing I want to say is, and I should have led with this, I apologize. I apologize for not knowing what's going on at this meeting, because even though the mics are here, the sound, and maybe it's because I'm here for 3 days, I'm sorry. I am sorry that I didn't part of here. I apologize for that. That's nothing I can do anything about. I'm sorry that I can't hear, and I'm sorry that I have to wear hearing aids, and I'm sorry that I have to make it public that I do have a disability. All that being said, I've said many, many times that because this room is so large, even with your mics, somebody maybe told me, maybe told me somebody with hearing aids, cannot hear. I can hear, but I can't make out the words. So if I may proceed, maybe some of the things I'm saying haven't been said here earlier, but everything becomes garbled because I'm getting the echoes from the room. I thought that the board might be interested to know, or maybe individual members of the board might be interested to know that yes, I have heard lots of things from people who say that they're intimidated. I've heard lots of things from people who say that they're not being heard when they talk. I've heard lots of people say that they are terrified for the education going on in Hudson. I happen to love all these teachers. I think they're doing an outstanding job. I did see a report that I know you board members, I think said earlier that you haven't seen the report. I've seen the report. It's been one of the things that's been sent to me. That says in there that 44%, that's almost half the teaching staff, is thinking of retiring or leaving the school district next year. I think that's something this Board of Education should know. And I think it's something that this Board of Education should get an outside source to look at and investigate.
We can't do that. Set an outside source.
I'm sorry, you're interrupting me. You just let me finish.
Sure.
I'm just giving my opinion. And I think, dear God, I'm still in the United States of America, even up here at Hudson. And I'm entitled to speak and I'm entitled to give my opinion.
Then please continue.
Without interruption. But I do think if any of this is true, it would be my recommendation that the board get some outside group to investigate. 44% just seems like an unreal number. That isn't what I came up to say, that hearing all these people talk about that, I feel I have an obligation to tell the board that yes, I heard it from many more people that are sitting in this room. My real reason for coming up is to say that I also have seen, because I get to know a lot, I've been a reporter for 65 years, so I do get a lot of news from a lot of different sources. And I did see a letter from the Commissioner of Education for the state that indicates that the Commissioner sees no reason why Seabright had not become a member of this regional district.
Absolutely. I'm going to say exactly what that letter said, so there's no misrepresentation. That letter said, and just so I will speak loudly and clearly, that the letter basically said we were going to discuss that with the Board of Education, but it basically said it's up to the Board of Education and Seabright if they would like to move forward with regional vision. That's a public document, so we're not doing anything that's not out of line here. All right? But let's not represent that says there's no reason. It said that it's up to us and Seabright.
My question is, if I was permitted to, is that I believe this letter went to the attorney for the board, and I did not hear any attorney's report or hear anything made public that you have received such a letter or that the Commissioner of Education has such a letter.
I apologize, Mrs. Smith. That might be a situation where I'm coming through garbled. During my president's report, I did discuss that letter.
Okay, I think it might be good we did have an attorney's report at every meeting.
But again, this was Friday, roughly 4:40, so the board has not had an opportunity to speak with legal representation, and that's what we're doing this evening, in executive session. Yeah.
Could I also ask, sorry to be asking so many attorney questions tonight, but I did see on the agenda where you were naming a second attorney in case we ever need a second attorney.
Mm-hmm. In case of the conflict of interest.
Oh, we didn't say because of
No.
Because of the, I forget the reason that.
Yeah, so we approved 2 attorneys last year. No, I'm gonna answer your question. Ms. Smith, there's 2 attorneys, and I'm gonna explain why. We approved the same 2 attorneys last year. The reason is because we had different attorneys for the elementary school boards and the Henry Hudson boards. There is special education litigation or special education cases or cases that those attorneys handle for the elementary schools. So we approved 2 sets of attorneys, so there's continuity in those services. That doesn't mean we use them like both at the same time, but this is a common practice in a lot of school districts because we already have them handling some of our special education cases. So that's why we have 2 attorneys, so we can continue the continuity of their services for the cases they're already involved in, and same thing with the Henry Hudson lawyer, because there are cases sometimes that they're involved in where they're familiar with those cases. That's it. We don't use them at the same time. They handle different things for us.
Well, it's clear that we get into different things. I can understand that. Are you saying this is the second year you've hired 2 attorneys?
Yes, we did it last year also.
And so, how many times did you have to use the second attorney last year, do you know?
I don't have that information in front of me.
But apparently it's enough that they feel that it has to be repeated this year.
Yes, if we need them. It doesn't cost us anything unless we have to use them. So it just is a safety net in case they have to continue working with clients we've already worked with.
So what I really was asking was, did you have to use the second attorney last year?
Yes, this current school year, yes, we had to use them.
Okay, so that's why you're having a second one again?
Yes, to continue services.
Thank you very much. If I could add something nice, I think Mrs. Sherlock works way too much. I think she deserves dinner hour. I've asked several questions of her by email. She's excellent in reporting back for getting back as much information as she can. As late as 5 or 6 o'clock tonight, she responded to something that I had asked this morning. So I thank you, Mrs. Sherlock, for your courtesy and for being able to answer me so quickly and so many things. Thank you very much. Thank you.
Hi again, Elizabeth Escher on 123A East Highland Avenue. I just wanted to say that this is the first time, just like board members know, this is the first time I've heard of the climate survey. It's not something as a member of the public I'm aware of, and you can't comment on it. I don't want to. But also to the comments that were made about parents. So I have 3 children. I have a high school student, a middle school student, and an elementary school student. From a parent's perspective, they're all doing great, and I want to thank the teachers and the staff and the administration of all 3 schools because I'm lucky that my children are thriving in their current environment. So thank you very much. Oh, and my oldest did have the opportunity to go through the challenge program. It worked for him, and then the other 2 have not, but they're still doing great. So thank you.
Yeah, let me just, any other public comment? Seeing none, we'll close that session and open it for board comment. Mrs. Thomas.
Okay. First of all, the climate report was released before it was supposed to be. There's a process, and I'm so upset, or I feel so bad for parents, because that's what we're here for too, to speak some parents. I have to ask you, please trust the system. There is a system. As the attorney has told us, we are dealing with so many issues and concerns of the children, for the children, for the teachers, for ourselves, for the whole school district down. We have to trust the system. There's laws and systems, and you are giving input so that we can work within the system instead of out on the street, or it used to be around a flagpole in Highlands Elementary School. We're working together, intelligent people, and we really are interested, and we're going to do what's right. and we're gonna do it the right way. You have to trust us in some ways. Bring your ideas to us, tell us everything. But what we hear on the street is not official. What we hear here is official. So, please,
Thank you, Mr. Thomas.
please take it in your heart to trust what we're doing. We've made promises, we have ethics to stick to, and we're going to do it. And we're going to take care of what needs to be taken care of for your children. Thank you.
Thank you, Mrs. Thomas.
I'd also like to just make a quick observation. I think that we, as a board, because it's our responsibility, we need to pick a lane about the identity of public portion. If we're going to tell people we're not answering questions, we shouldn't answer questions. We should not be deciding which questions we feel like answering, and that's the question we're going to answer and tell other people we can't answer them. I think that if we're going to tell people they have 3 minutes to speak, we should not interrupt them. And if somebody here is saying something that they have a First Amendment right to say that maybe we're uncomfortable with, but it doesn't violate our board policy, and if we are not doing something where we are engaged in unethical or illegal behavior, it's up to the person speaking to say those things and whether they're going to get sued or not. That's their right. Thank you.
Just for clarity, this board does not enforce the 3-minute rule the entire past 6 months. It is not. We haven't enforced it. On a personal note, when I say answer, I can't answer, that's different than answering a question back and forth. Most of the time when I say I can't answer questions, I don't have all the information in. Any other board comments? Seeing that, I'm going to need a motion to go into executive session. This will take about 75 minutes. That's an estimation. We're going to be adjourning afterwards. There's no action being taken this evening. So, Sunshine Law, as pursuant to NJSA 10:4-12, subsection B, the Board of Education may exclude the public from that portion of a public meeting in which the board discusses data matters described in that statute. That's what we're going to do. Hold on, a little bit of topic here, 1 second. There's a few that I can find. Litigation or contract matters, we're going to do that. Attorney-client privilege and personnel matters. Board members will take about 7 minutes after. Second. All in favor?
Getting some sort of